It's playoff season for the San Jose Sharks prospects.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, caretaker at the Reef, also the co-host of Locked On NHL. I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly part of the Locked On Network, we cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well. And today we're going to be looking at all of the San Jose Sharks prospects in the CHL who are in the playoffs. Spoiler, all of the Sharks prospects in the CHL made it to the playoffs. So we're going to be looking at kind of what's expected of them, kind of look at their teams, and also going to be looking at players in each series that you as a Sharks fan should keep an eye on when it comes to the draft. So we're going to be starting in the OHL, and then we'll get into the WHL. But before we do all that, do want to let you guys know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Okay, since, of course, the Sharks already been eliminated from the playoffs, and we fully expect the Barracuda to have playoffs, at this point of the season, we are going to be getting the CHL playoffs starting this upcoming weekend. So, and with the Sharks not playing another game till Thursday, perfect time to kind of look at the Sharks prospects that are going to be making the CHL, maybe give a gauge to when we might see some of these guys playing with the Barracuda this year. And then also look at who you, as a Sharks fan, should be kind of keeping an eye on in the playoff series if you want to kind of get to know some of these 2025 NHL draft guys. So let us start with the London Knights. London is pretty good. So London Knights versus the Owen Sound Attack. The London Knights are the first overall seed in all of the OHL. Yes, London's very good. Of course, the Sharks have two prospects. Sam Dickinson, who was taken 11th overall in the 2024 draft. He had himself a pretty good season, you could say. 55 games played. He scored 29 goals. Remember, Sam Dickinson, defenseman, 62 assists. He set the London Knights franchise record for most points in a season by a defenseman. And he sat out a couple games at the end of the year for rest reasons. After he sat out one game, they got the record, and then he sat out, like he kind of put the record away, and then he sat out another game. So Dickinson is, of course, a huge piece of what the Sharks or what the London Knights are going to do, right? He plays first defense minutes. He plays probably close to 30 minutes a night for London. He's a monster for them. So yes, we know what Sam Dickinson is. Kasper Holttunen, he is in his last year with London. This year, 38 games, had 21 goals, 20 assists, and usually kind of plays middle 6 minutes for the London Knights. He is, if you remember last year, he had a massive run in the playoffs and really stepped up his game, really rounded out his game. And I fully expect him to maybe not contribute the same way with the gaudy goal scoring that he had last season, where he was basically a goal per game type of player for the London Knights. At least it felt like that. But he should be a huge part of London as they try to go for a repeat in the OHL championship. So London, I fully expect this team to go very far, and I would not hold my breath to see either Sam Dickinson or Kasper Holttunen playing with the Barracuda this season, because I just think their season is going to last a lot longer than the Barracuda season. I think so. That would be my guess is that. Who to watch for, though, in this series? So what I've done is I picked one player from each team, or tried to pick one player from each team that were on the kind of draft eligible list. From the London Knights, Henry Brusevich, defenseman. This season has in 67 games he had 10 goals, 32 assists. He's a 6'1", 194 right-handed defenseman. Bit of a raw player, is going to need some more refinement, but is known for his two-way game. And I think for him, right now he is Sam Dickinson's partner. Dickinson kind of does Sam Dickinson things, and Brusevich has to kind of play a little bit more of the stay-at-home type of defense, but you see plenty of offensive opportunities from Brusevich. I do think next year, Brusevich is one of those guys who could have a massive jump in his draft D+1 season because the potential of Oliver Bonk. Oliver Bonk is 100% gone. And if Sam Dickinson leaves as well, Brusevich is totally a guy who could be kind of the best defenseman on this team and really take a massive jump next year because he's going to have all the opportunities. He's projected as a late first round, early second round type of pick. And if the Sharks were to draft him with the first pick of their first second round pick, I feel like that is a beautiful marriage of what the Sharks need. And like Brusevich is a guy I'm really, really intrigued with. And he might see if he has a big playoff, he could be a guy who could maybe see his draft status go up a little bit. So for the Owen Sound attack, David Betkowski, defenseman as well. This season, he had in 35 games played, he had 3 goals and 4 assists. He's also a big defenseman, 6'5", 214-pound right-handed defenseman. Physical shutdown type of defenseman. Like he's not going to rack up a bunch of points and stuff like that. That's not kind of his role. But he's a solid skater, especially for a guy his size. And he missed some time this year because of an injury. But he is a potential guy to look at, especially he's projected as like kind of a second, third round type of player in that type of range, right? You're looking for guys who kind of have a role. And I think David Betkowski fits what the Sharks look for, right? You look at when they drafted Miskey and Colton Roberts last year, right? Big mobile defenseman who can play physical. Betkowski really, he fits that mold to a T. So yes, I fully expect London just to clean up. Like this is gonna be a short series, to be honest. So and London's gonna play a lot of hockey this playoff. So switching over to the Kingston Frontenacs versus Sudbury Wolves. Of course, the Sharks have Quentin Musty. He's played 33 games this season, has 30 goals in 33 games with 29 assists. It's funny you say that, and you still feel like you don't want to say it was a disappointing year, but this is definitely a season where like a lot of what ifs with Quentin Musty. So, but 30 goals in 33 games is nothing to sneeze at for Quentin Musty. That's ridiculous. That is, that's insane. Quentin Musty put up 30 goals in 33 games this year. So I do think this is a 3 versus 6 matchup. Sudbury very much rested a lot of guys at the end of the season and basically kind of realized like we're going to probably like we know what we are. Let's rest a lot of our guys and try to get ready for the playoffs. Quentin Musty didn't play a bunch of games at the end of the season. I know he was kind of dealing with something minor, and I think they wanted to get him ready, and that way he can try to have a big playoff series. So this is going to be a tough one for the Wolves because Kingston is really good, and I'm like Sudbury is such a weird team where they can play really well, and then sometimes they just don't look like they have it. So if you want to see Quentin Musty play with the Barracuda, you want this series to be very short and Kingston to gentlemen sweep. Like you want this thing to be over pretty quickly if you're we want to see Quentin Musty playing with the Barracuda. So it's only really like Sudbury doesn't have anybody who's draft eligible to kind of really keep an eye on, unfortunately. So the Frontenacs, they have Tyler Hopkins, who's a forward. He this year 67 games played. He had 20 goals, 31 assists. He is a 6'1", 181-pound left-handed center. Kind of a middle six type of player, really toolsy. Gonna maybe not the highest ceiling, but solid defensively, good PKer. And he's projected to kind of be a third round pick, at least kind of in that range. So, right, you're looking for guys who potentially have roles. And Tyler Hopkins kind of feels like a player who could be someone that I think the Sharks would be interested in. So, so we'll continue to look at some of the rest of the OHL series. We'll also just look at some OHL players to keep an eye on in general. If you're just watching playoffs, to just watch playoffs. So we'll get to all that here in just 1 second. March Madness is here, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to get on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories and even who's cutting down the nets. Picking favorites, it's usually a pretty good way to go. They're favorites for a reason. Or if you're like an underdogs person or whoever it is, they've got you covered there. And with tournament games happening almost every day, there's always something exciting to bet on. FanDuel app is simple to use, and when you win, you get paid instantly. So visit FanDuel.com and get on the college hoops action all tournament long. And if you're looking for a healthy snack that's both delicious and nutritious, crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. Personally, I love the shelled variety, just the plain salted shelled variety. I love cracking the shells. Nothing like hearing that pistachio crack open and enjoying the green goodness inside. Or if you don't like shells, they have no shell variety. They have a ton of different flavors. So no matter what mood you're in, Wonderful Pistachios got you covered. Get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachio.com to learn more. All right. Before we continue looking at the OHL playoffs, do, of course, want to thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. If you haven't yet, perfect time to subscribe as we got draft coverage. We have fun interviews coming up. Of course, we have the most fun last place team you'll ever watch in your San Jose Sharks. So make sure you're following along wherever you get podcasts. And, of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. All right, let's shift to a very important series because it has a lot of Sharks / potential future Sharks in it. And that is the Saginaw Spirit versus the Erie Otters. So, of course, the Sharks have Igor Shov in this series. He's played 23 games this year with a ridiculous 19 goals and 36 assists. Shernashov's pretty good, guys. I think we might have got one there. So yes, Shernashov, of course, is going to be a huge part of it, playing first line minutes with Michael Misa, a guy we'll talk about here in just a couple of minutes. He's already taken on a huge role with this team, is massive in driving offense for them. And I think this is a series that could potentially go long, depending on the health of one prospect who may or may not be back. We'll get to that here in a minute. But this is a 4-5 matchup. So it very much could be a coin flip type of thing of who can, get going here, kind of find their way. We know Saginaw, right? Their defense they are a outscore your opponent type of team. And we'll see if they can continue to do that versus the Erie Otters, who do have some high-end prospects of their own. So looking at who to watch in this game. So this one, there's actually a lot of people in this game, in this matchup to watch. So of course you have Michael Misa, who played 65 games this year, has 62 goals, 72 assists for Saginaw. Just insane production. Misa is one of the best players in the draft. 6'1", 185 pounds center, left-handed player. We've done a whole draft profile on him. He would be, if the Sharks don't get Matthew Schaefer, run up to the podium to get Michael Misa. And depending on the day, you could maybe even talk me in to Misa over Schaefer. I'm still team Schaefer, but you get me in the right mood, and defenses for nerds, you could really talk me into Misa over Schaefer. But so we want to see how Misa does. Misa plays a bajillion minutes for Spirit, like for the side, like he is massive to them. Another guy to watch, Christian Epperson. So he also plays on the same line as Misa and Igor Shov. 58 games played this year, 27 goals, 53 assists. He's actually an overager. So he was eligible to be drafted last year, did not get drafted. So he's back into the draft pool. 6 foot, 185 pound left-handed winger for them. He is going to he's like a line connector type of player where he can, whatever you really kind of need him to do, that's what he can do, right? Is if you need him to kind of be a bit of a scorer, it clearly can be, as with 27 goals. You need to kind of be a facilitator, you need to be a little bit of a forechecker, or whatever you need to kind of make the line work. Epperson can do that for you, and he's projected to go second or third round. So with the Sharks with multiple second round picks, just someone to keep an eye on there if for an overager, where he might be ready to make an impact here a little bit sooner rather than later. So, of course, the Erie Otters, they have some dude to watch named Matthew Schaefer. So we're not sure. I put an asterisk if you're watching on YouTube. We're not sure if Schaefer is going to be ready. The target is early April, right? Playoffs start this weekend. We know he's been back on the ice skating. We probably won't know until later in the week if Matthew Schaefer is going to be kind of ready to go for the playoff series. But if he is must watch television for Sharks fans, because this could be your dude right here. Of course, he is coming off injury, right? He broke his collarbone in the World Juniors and has not played since then. And before that, in 17 games played, he had 7 goals and 15 assists and is projected to be a top 2, the top pick in the draft. So he's pretty good. 6'2", 185 pound left-handed defenseman. You get Hughes / Cale Makar vibes watching him. One of the best skater, like just pure skating, one of the best skaters in the draft. Talking to a scout who, talking about Dickinson versus Schaefer. Like Dickinson's a great skater. Schaefer is just like just above him. Like there's a reason why this kid is so good. One is his skating and his speed and everything. So if hopefully we get a chance, hopefully we get to see Schaefer. So another big prospect, Malcolm Spence. So he's projected to be a first round pick. I don't know his range. He might be more teens than where the Sharks are projected to get with that Dallas pick, but still another guy we just want to keep an eye on, right? 65 games played for the Otters, 32 goals, 41 assists. He is a 6'2", 200 pound left-handed forward, two-way type of player, complementary player, more complementary than a dynamic player. But I think, again, like if you're running a line, thinking long-term, right? If you're running a line with, Macklin Celebrini, Will Smith, having a complementary player, a big player at 6'2", 200 pounds, might not be the worst thing in the world type of player. So if you don't get Porter Martone, Malcolm Spence could maybe kind of fit that type of mold. So I do think for this series, like I do think this is going to be a longer series. I think this could be one of those series, and especially if Schaefer's back and close to being Matthew Schaefer, this could 100% be a coin flip type of series. So we'll see. And Igor Shov, though, playing on the Barracuda would be really fun. All right, before we get into the WHL, just a couple guys to keep an eye on here in the OHL. All right, before we get to the WHL, just a couple guys to keep on in the broad OHL playoffs here. So, of course, you have Porter Martone, who's projected to be a top 5 pick this year with 57 games played, 37 goals, 61 assists. We did a whole thing on him, but prototypical, right? New age power forward, 6'3", 207-pound right winger. We did a whole thing on him. You can go listen to a whole episode on Porter Martone. So Jack Nesbitt. So he plays for the Windsor Spitfires, 6'4", 183-pound left-handed center, physical, high motor type of guy, very Mike Greer type of player there. 65 games played, 25 goals, 39 assists, late first, early second round projection on Nesbitt. Again, if you go like Schaefer, Nesbitt, like not a bad start right there type of, for San Jose. And then Luca Romano, he is also a forward, plays for the Kitchener Rangers, a little bit smaller, 5'11", 168-pound right-handed center, speed to burn defensive player, good PKer. He had 67 games played, 25 goals, 26 assists, early second round grade on him. So these are just some guys who are kind of in the range of projected Sharks picks to keep an eye on. If you're just a fan of the playoffs and fan of sports, etc. So we'll get over to the WHL here in just 1 minute. There's nothing like watching basketball live. The energy of the crowd, the sound of the sneakers on the hardwood, and maybe even a celebrity sighting courtside. If you ever want to catch a game in person, Game Time makes getting tickets easier than ever. Game Time's new feature, Game Time Picks, filters out the fluff to show you only great deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time scrolling through thousands of tickets. I've used the Game Time app a bajillion times for tickets. If you want to go catch the Warriors, if you want to go to a March Madness game, or even just go to the Shark Tank, Game Time makes it super easy. Great thing is, of course, you can see your seats before you buy. No surprise fees and a lowest price guarantee, so you can book with total confidence. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets or Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNHL, LOCKEDON NHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. All right, before we finish up with the WHL, again, I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. When you're done with this episode, go check out one of the other great shows here at the Locked On Network. Of course, you have Locked On NHL, where I'm on every Tuesday with Seth. We talk about Cam Fowler. We actually legitimately talked about Cam Fowler and the Blues today. So you can go check out that show, or you can check out one of these shows in the Bay Area. Locked On Niners, Locked On Warriors, Locked On A's, Locked On Giants. Plenty of great stuff here at the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. All right, switching over to the Western Hockey League. So 3 prospects for the Sharks. The first one, you have Calgary Hitmen versus Saskatoon Blades. Carson Wetsch playing, of course, for the Calgary Hitmen, the 3rd round pick from this last draft. 68 games played. 33 goals, 19 assists for Carson Wetsch. Very consistent goal scorer. It feels like every night you're getting a goal from Carson Wetsch. He is the captain for the Calgary Hitmen. This is a 3-6 seed. So you would expect Calgary to win this series. So looking at a couple guys to keep an eye on here. For the Calgary Hitmen, Benjamin Kindle, a forward, 65 games played, 35 goals, 64 assists. He is 5'10", 176 pounds, so a little bit smaller. Well, we know Mike Greer likes, but right-handed forward for them, playmaker, high hockey IQ, does play a little bit bigger for his size, and he's projected to be a late first type of player. So again, someone to kind of just keep an eye on there. For the Blades, David Lewandowski, forward, 52 games played, 15 goals, 24 assists. German guy, actually. So 6'1", 176 pounds, left-handed forward, strong, physical player, third line type of forward, not flashy, kind of a gritty type of player. Projected to be a third round pick. So again, those third, fourth, fifth round pick, you're trying to find guys who have a role, and he has a role as a projected like middle kind of third line, fourth line grinder type of player. So yeah, so I do think, like, I'm not expecting Carson Wetch to be playing Barracuda games here soon. So we'll see. I am curious to see if he does, because he still has not signed his ELC. Wonder if he signs his ELC this season. So yeah, I know the Sharks have to be happy with the production that he's had this year. So sliding over to Victoria Royals versus the Tri-City Americans. The Royals, I know, are a 2 seed. They won the BC division. Nate Miskey, defenseman, Sharks prospect, 63 games played, 10 goals, 37 assists. Remember, he was drafted as an overager, so this could be kind of it for him. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him this offseason. But I do think Victoria wins this series, especially as a 2 seed. They've been playing very, very well. They have a very dynamic defenseman who's going to be a high end pick in next year's draft to keep an eye on. But focusing on this year's draft, though, Cole Reshnesky, Cole, 62 game played, 26 goals, 66 assists. Reshny, is a 5'10", 187 pound left-handed player, 200-foot game, well-rounded center, good off-puck skills. Again, maybe a little bit smaller, Reshny than what Mike Greer likes, but just a kind of a player to keep an eye on. It's projected as a late first type of pick. So then very good production in your draft eligible year. So for the Tri-City Americans, of course, Jackson Smith, top 10, projected to be a top 10 pick, the second best defenseman in the draft, behind Matthew Schaefer. 68 games played, 11 goals, 32 assists for him. 6'3", 190 pounds, left-handed defenseman, playmaking, fluid, offensive defenseman. Like I said, the second best defenseman in this draft. I don't think the Sharks are going to be in range, but just, again, someone to kind of keep in mind for San Jose. So Spokane Chiefs versus the Vancouver Giants. Colton Roberts, defenseman, 66 games played, 6 goals, 30 assists this year for the Vancouver Giants. I think Spokane is the favorites in this one. Their top line is ridiculous. Like Andrew Cristall, they can put up a bajillion points. So I wouldn't be surprised if Roberts gets a chance to play with the Barracuda. Again, another guy who has not signed his ELC, but we'll kind of see what happens there with him. So guys to watch in this. For the Chiefs, Owen Martin, a forward, 32 games played, 13 goals, 21 assists. Missed a good chunk of this season with a leg injury, so that's why the production maybe isn't there, but still solid production. 6 foot, 183 pound right-handed forward, solid defensively, middle six type of player kind of going forward. Does, of course, get to, his offense maybe gets a little bit of a bump with who he plays with, but just, again, someone to kind of keep an eye on there. Projected as a mid-round pick. Cameron Schmidt for the Giants. I love this kid. 61 games played, 40 goals, 38 assists. The only problem is he is tiny, 5'7", 157 pound right-handed. Skill level and speed are elite. Special skills, hockey sense, verging on high end. Has the making of a player who beats the odds. If you want to take a gamble on a pick, I don't know if he's going to be there. He's projected as a first round pick. And with these little players, right, you never know where they slide to. if you're gonna take a swing on a dude, this is the type of dude I'm taking a swing on because he just oozes offensive creativity. So, and we'll see, but yeah, that's he's a fun player. A couple guys to keep an eye on in the WHL playoffs. Blake Fiddler, defenseman, 64 games played, 10 goals, 23 assists, 6'4", 204-pound right-handed defenseman. Defensive, like there's some offense there, but he is going to be a shutdown defensive type of player. Of course, his dad played in the league as well, projected as a late first. So yeah, he plays with the Edmonton Oil Kings. Roger McQueen, he plays for the Wheat Thins, coming off a back injury that kept him out all season. Projected as a potential top 10 pick. 17 games played, 10 goals, 10 assists. He's another big boy at 6'5", 192 pounds. Maybe some issues with pace and the way he plays there, but just again, keep telling just some guys to keep an eye on here. And then finally, Braden Coots plays for Seattle, 6 foot, 180-pound right-handed center. This season, in 60 games, he had 26 goals, 37 assists. Also predicted as kind of a 20-ish type of pick in this year's draft. Maybe like a third-line center, but there's potential some upside there, especially if the playmaking kind of continues to develop. So, yes, that is your CHL playoffs. Sorry, Q. Bill Zonin. That's the guy you want to watch. Bill Zonin in the play for the Q. That's my guy. Late first round pick. So that's if you like power forward hockey, Bill Zonin is my pick of someone to watch in the queue. So that's going to be it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be talking about the 4 college players who are left in the playoffs and kind of look at what to kind of expect from them, review their seasons and kind of what to expect for them. And if any of them could be signing their ELCs. So make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch on YouTube as well. Follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Locked On Sharks. Follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at My Fry Hole. Till tomorrow. Bye, friends.